Now, in this lecture, I am going to uh, talk about a very interesting concept. It's a concept of virtual displacement and virtual work. So, any real displacement delta R is always associated with change in time, that is delta T, but displacement delta R is said to be virtual. This delta R is said to be virtual if displacement takes place without any change in time, so let us understand this by taking an example. So as we know that Ri with the position vector, and it is depending upon generalized coordinates q1, q2, q3 and so on qn. Let us assume that the position of the ith particle is also depending upon time. Then delta Ri means this displacement. It can be written in terms of generalized coordinates curly Ri over curly Qj and delta Qj and curly Riy curly T into delta T, and here summation over J. I have to express it in this way. But as I define that if there is a displacement and that displacement is without change in time, then this part is not contributing this part is not contributing for that case. Then this displacement which is independent of time, then this displacement vector delta Ri, it can be simply written as curly Ri over curly Qj delta Qj. Then this is known as virtual displacement. Right. So this is a idea of virtual displacement. Now let me talk about virtual work. So let me describe a brief idea of virtual work. So as work done is relating to the force and that force causing some displacement, then force into displacement gives me the work done actual. So that means I have to incorporate the idea of force. So let Fi be the total force acting on the ith particle at the position Ri and let ith particle is given and is given as arbitrary virtual displacement delta Ri, then work done by Fi on the ith particle is given as that delta W is equal to Fi, and Fi is basically force on the ith particles, and which is at the position Ri, and this is delta Ri. Then this is known as virtual work. Then this expression is known as virtual work. Or in other words, I can say that if Fi with the force acting on the ith particle and delta Ri with the virtual displacement, then Fi dot delta Ri is known as the virtual work done, right? So then there are some important points which we must remember. So let me describe these special notes. So first is when the system is constrained to move in a particular way, there are always one or more forces of constraint. One or more forces of constraint acting on the system. And another point which you have to keep in mind, that is work done by virtual work done by the forces of constraint by the forces of constraint is always zero, right? So this is all about virtual displacement and virtual work done. Now in the next lecture I will talk about the principle of virtual work. That's all for this lecture.